Thanks, Lascane Corla. Minister, I think it's interesting that 4 out of 5 of the priority questions today relate to autism and autism spectrum disorder provision. And at all times, it's parents who've had to push and push to get that right for their children. My question specifically relates to Dublin 15 and 7, to the Dublin West constituency, where a survey of primary and secondary school principals by a group of parents and professionals has shown that 68% of principals surveyed believe that students are in an inappropriate educational setting. Now, the group that has done this research is the ASD 15 committee, and they're looking for an autism-specific school in Dublin West.
Minister.
Gormaigad Cahir agus Gormaidas and Cash Fosta agus Aintiam Lat Cash Aintianta Tawakta agus Cash Tavig Egchacht Nori agus Egchacht are due some Blaina Fosta, so Gormilamaigad. I am aware of the demand for additional special class and special school placements in the Dublin area, including Dublin 15. I have asked the National Council for Special Counsel, the National Council for Special Education, to provide my department with a report on current and future identified need in the area in question, so that evidence-based decisions may be made on the development of the necessary placements in the area for the short, medium and longer term. In preparing the report, the Council is meeting with parents and other groups. It is also engaging with officials in my department on the work they are undertaking. As this process is ongoing, I have no plans to meet with groups at this stage. The NCSE is an independent agency of my department with responsibility for planning, coordinating and advising on education provision for children with special educational needs. The Council ensures that schools in an area can, between them, cater for all children who have been identified as needing special class placements. A working group chaired by the NCSE has been established to put in place a new working protocol to ensure that there is effective proactive planning and timely delivery of specialist educational places for students.
Two kind of issues that are arising for parents with children with autism is, getting them a place in the special units that have been set up in some schools, as we saw in previous questions. Now, that's a problem, but also there's a lot of children who cannot cope or function in those special units because their needs are much more complex. And these specifically are the children that this group is talking. Now, this is very, very unique in that a major public meeting was held on this. You had parents and professionals united on the need for a special school, and all of the TDs, councillors and public reps as well. I think Dublin West, because of its age profile and demographics, will be the place where this has to happen first. And what the parents have done is they've managed now to get potentially a patron. The ETB have indicated that they'd be willing to be a patron for such a school. They also have 2 potential sites, one being provided by the ETB. So really all they need now, Minister, is funding and provision of funds to allow this to happen.
Minister.
Yeah, look, I think it's very, very important when there's a task of work ongoing, and there is a task of work ongoing at the moment, to look at and consult with all the stakeholders, including the parents. So I'm confident that this work will be done in a comprehensive way. I'm confident that it will also be completed in a timely fashion. And then we are in a position then to make decisions on the back of that. You've obviously got your own anecdotal advice. You've obviously got feedback from public meetings, and you get the pressure on the ground, and no better people for having the antenna out than Jack the Dáil when it comes to issues. But I need to be methodical in how I go about this. The NCSE need to be allowed the space to deliberate, to consult, and also to listen to the people where it matters most, i.e. the parents. So I'm asking on the Deputy today to just allow the people who are in the process of coming to a conclusion here the time to complete that work, and then we'll be in a position to make decisions after that.
Final supplementary, Deputy Governor.
Yeah. The issue is that the parents have done a lot of research themselves, and the professionals who actually teach these children, and they found that at least 54 children are either on reduced hours, in other words, they're not getting an education, or they're on home tuition grants are applying for them. In many cases, the parents get a phone call after an hour to come and collect their child because the school cannot cater for their needs. So it's only a drop in the ocean. I'm sure there's many more. Specifically, what we have here is the potential to provide a unique school with all of the specialist training that's needed, like Jonix are on board, who have provided, a lot of research and advice in the past. The ETB has expressed a willingness to support this. And really what we need is the government to recognise that this is a need for Dublin West and potentially for lots of other areas. The children have a right to an education. This could actually happen in September 2019. If the site at the back of Riversdale or another site, you could have temporary accommodation, for example. And I'd ask the Minister to move on this as quickly as possible.
Final answer, Minister.
Yeah, look, this is getting priority, and your constituency colleague who's here today, and also my own colleague and your other constituency colleague in his TD capacity, the Taoiseach, is very, very anxious that this gets the priority that is needed, and I can guarantee you that it will continue to get that prioritisation.